One of the most anticipated fights between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero is finally over. Here are the pros' reactions to this mega brawl.
These were strange fights, a couple of them, you know, but it was great to be back doing blow by blow. Had a fantastic time with Antonio Tarver. Had a fantastic time with Mike Coppinger. I wish that there had been more action. It's quite unbelievable. CompuBox has counted punches in 15,000 fights. Wow. 2 of those fights are now among the 5 fights with the lowest number of punches ever. Okay? Wow. So you're looking at 2 of the 5 lowest punch output fights in a 15,000 fight catalog. That's unreal. These are supposed to be action fighters, you know? And you would have thought that Garcia would have recognized from the midpoint of the fight on that he had to generate more activity. Yes. But he didn't. Derek James yelled at him, tried to get him to do it, etc., etc. Fighters are unusual human beings. They don't always do what we expect them to do. Rolly Romero moved up in weight, put on a lot of muscle, looked spectacular in there, and had a plan and executed. Won the fight.
Definitely. I know you didn't see Ryan's fight, but you know he obviously lost.
Yeah.
Devin won. Like, is there? You think there's still interest to see that?
Look.
So there's interest more to see that fight with
Anthony Joshua lost his last fight, and so did Fury. And if they fight each other, it's gonna be huge. So Haney versus Garcia is still gonna be a big fight. I think they should still do it. Still big.
Hey Ryan, keep your hands up, Ryan. Let's do shit. Keep your hands up. Stay calm and relax, nigga. Relax, Ryan.
Relax, Ryan. Good job, baby. Inteligente. The double straight up in the air.
Damn.
Yo, Keyshawn, what do you think? What happened?
I thought he was gonna stop. Yo, I thought he was gonna. I thought I boxed you. I thought he was gonna.
I'm at the judges' table.
Virgil, what's up, champ? Just got to get your reaction about what you think about that Rolly win.
He deserved it. You know, Ryan just wasn't active enough. Rolly was landing more punches. There wasn't really a whole lot to go off of, but Rolly was more effective.
Are you like surprised by the dub?
No.
No, so you thought Rolly could pull it off?
I didn't know who was gonna win. If I'm being, I thought it was gonna end in a knockout by either way. But I didn't know who. But I'm surprised that it went to the distance.
Were you shocked when he got dropped?
No, because Rolly hits hard.
When I go back to Ryan Garcia really quickly, you talked about it's just bad matchmaking. Is a lot of this pro fight game stuff just as important for the matchmaker to be just as astute at his job as it is the fighter?
Absolutely. But you can't blame, without knowing the background, you can't blame anybody, because it may very well be that the people at Golden Boy were telling Garcia, don't go into a fight like this, take a tune-up fight, get yourself back in the ring and so forth. I mean, anybody who knows boxing would tell Garcia that's what he should do. But I guess the money that Turkey put up was so big that they decided to go for the money. But that doesn't make any sense.
And we saw this before last summer with Big Baby, kind of a similar thing. Is this money that's being thrown at these fighters to the detriment of their careers, and they're not realizing it?
It could be to the detriment of the career, because the fighters look at the money, and that's all they care about, and they don't realize that maybe you don't take a fight that you shouldn't take. I mean, Big Baby was so unprepared for Bacoli that it was a joke. We told him, we were against the fight. Our matchmakers were against the fight. But, this was a multi-million-dollar purse, and Big Baby insisted on taking it, and Bacoli knocked him out. You know, so sometimes you can't blame the matchmakers or promoters. Sometimes it's the fighter who's blinded with the money.
Man, it was cool. You know, yeah, we sat here for all 3 fights. You know, it was alright though.
What do you think about Ryan? Where does he go from here after this loss?
I don't know. It looking like everybody got to go back to the scoreboard. You know, I feel like Rolly. You know, I like the way the both to the boards they got. Yeah. I feel like I like the way Rolly took his time. He picked his shots and stuff like that. You know, that was my take of the whole night. You know, that was the best part of the night. Just watching Rolly take his time, pick his shots. You know, he was strong for sure. You know, but we knew that.
Was it the layoff? You think the year layoff? He wasn't active.
I don't know.
Or he just doesn't want it.
I don't know what it is. I can't say. You know, I wasn't in his camp or nothing like that. But you know, it could be a few things. You know, some people say it was a PEDs. So you know, he's got to get back.
Definitely. Now talking about Devin Haney, what did you think about his performance?
I feel like everybody could have did a little bit better. You know, we seen all of them perform better.
Yeah,
you know,
that was another year layoff, so maybe that affected him.
Right, possibly.
Yeah.
Eddie, just your reaction, man.
I can't believe it. I mean, I said this kind of environment, like sometimes it can just, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
flabbergasted.
Ryan and Devin just dropped the bag like the biggest bag drop you've ever seen. I mean, you know, tonight was going to be those 2 in the ring facing off for the big rematch.
It's done?
Done. Can't believe it.
Is it Rolly versus Devin next?
About it. I mean, but listen, props to Rolly, but Ryan just didn't turn up at all. And you know, he didn't really try and win the fight, did he? I mean, I know he got buzzed early. It wasn't a really heavy knockdown, but he just let the fight pass him by. It's crazy.
By Ryan Garcia's performance tonight, a fantastic victory for Rolando Romero. Almost made it look kind of easy.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. I was surprised how he. I think he just never recovered from that check hook that Rolly did on him. So, you know, I think he was too hesitant, and maybe the hunger is not there like it should be for Ryan Garcia. But hopefully he gets back on his feet, and hopefully we still see the rematch between himself and Devin Haney.
You were super outgoing all fight week. I asked Ryan in the build-up, I said, is it hard when you're doing big podcasts or having a go at each other to focus on your opponent? You seem like the only one who maybe kept that focus in there. What was the whole build-up like for you? This was different, right?
It's our job. It's our job to entertain everyone, all of you that are watching. It's our job to give everybody a show. I mean, we're having so many people cross over. We had 200 or 300 special talent guests around watching us fight tonight in the ring. So you got to live up to it. You have to. And I'm that type of person that always wants to exceed to those expectations.
Prior to the fight, Canelo also shared his thoughts, predicting a win for Ryan Garcia. He confidently stated that Garcia would secure a knockout victory over Rolly Romero.
Training with Ryan Garcia again. What's your prediction for his fight on Friday night?
He's gonna win. He's gonna win by knockout.
Thank you.
Okay, Costa.
Leading up to the fight, Oscar De La Hoya had also predicted it would be a short bout, lasting no more than 4 rounds. He observed that while Rolly Romero throws powerful punches, they are relatively easy to block. De La Hoya ultimately predicted a knockout victory for Ryan Garcia.
I believe so.
Rolly's a big puncher, though, too.
Yeah, he's a big puncher, but when I think about Rolly's Ryan, I think about De La Hoya Mayorga.
Yeah, someone else had told me, Rosado had told me that he thinks the same way. Why?
Well, you have big punchers who throw, those are easy to block. All you got to do is be calm, stay collective, and do your job. That's it. So I think Ryan, it's going to be a fun, short fight. It's going to be a fun 4-round fight.
4 rounds.
I believe so.
So majority of people I've spoken to have told me 4 to 6, 4 to 6. Why? Why so short?
It's going to be at a high pace, and both fighters can bang. Hey, Rollies can land a punch. You never know. But I think the punches that are going to be flying inside that ring is going to make it for a short night.
At the same time, Sean Porter noted that both fighters had faced top-level opponents in their careers. He believed that once they met in the ring, they would capitalize on each other's mistakes and deliver their best performances yet.
Think Ryan cleans up Rolly?
I do.
Think he wins the fight? Yeah,
I think for both fighters
obviously the common opponent right there. I think that both fighters, obviously Ryan just fought Tank. I think he'll be better since fighting Tank.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with Rolly. I think Rolly became better from fighting Tank. I think that they knew certain mistakes that they made. I think they believed in their game plan. Got us all to believe in their game plan. I think they came to this fight with the right adjustments, but took it too far, I guess, for the sake of words. But I think that they'll both be better.
Yeah.
In their fight against one another. I don't know how to.
They're both super raw.
Yeah.
I think Ryan got more talent.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn had also shared his thoughts on the matchup, describing it as a relatively easier fight. Before the bout, he had predicted that Ryan Garcia would win comfortably.
Disappointing for boxing, but obviously it's the easier fight is Rolly, so I understand, but you know,
How do you think that fight plays out?
Which one?
Rolly,
Yeah, I think Ryan win that comfortably. Yeah.
While reviewing the fight, Teddy Atlas had stated that Rolly Romero was likely to lose again. He reflected on Romero's career, pointing out that whenever he faced a bigger name, he ended up on the losing side. Atlas saw the outcome of the fight with Ryan Garcia as following the same pattern as their last fight.
Does he have pictures on somebody? Because he keeps getting these fights. He loses the big ones, and he gives his all. I'm not knocking him, but he loses the big ones, and then he comes up and gets a big fight where obviously it passes somebody else up on the line that probably thinks, hey, wait a minute, I've been winning. I've been winning over here, and I'm not getting a shot. This guy loses when he gets them, and he gets another one. Like, what the? Like, what the heck?
Teddy further noted that Rolly Romero would have a hard time pulling off the biggest upset of his career in this fight. He also shared his thoughts on Ryan Garcia's continuous growth, highlighting how Garcia had evolved through his recent fight experiences.
Does Rolly Romero have a shot to pull off the major upset?
I want to say no, but I can't just definitively say no. Not because of Romero, but because of Ryan. I'm not positive yet. I think Ryan has matured. I think he's settled down. I think he's grown through his experiences. And boy, they've been experiences the last 2 years. Oh my God. Oh, I think he has.
While reflecting on Ryan Garcia's growth, Teddy had shared his observations with confidence. He predicted that given Garcia's development as a fighter, the world would see him win easily against Rolly Romero. And following the fight, that prediction proved to be accurate.
Found himself? I think he has. But I don't know yet. If he has found himself as a fighter and happy with himself, and in believing, because I thought he had a lot of doubts about himself, like we all do. But I thought those demons kind of barked at him sometimes and caused him to do things that sometimes we scratched our head. Why are you doing this? But if he has found himself and found that confidence level after the last experience and the last fight, he has the talent. He's got the style. He's got the technique. He's got everything. He's got the talent to win this fight handily, and other fights handily.
Gervonta Davis had also expressed doubt about whether Rolly Romero could actually pull off the upset. He admitted the chances were slim, but still hoped Romero would win, pointing out his hard-hitting style as a potential advantage.
Can Rolly pull off the upset? I don't want to say that's crazy, but yeah, hopefully for him. Hopefully for the sake of Rolly, he pulled it off. But it's gonna be a good fight. No, you think? Huh?
Someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody get knocked out.
Who hit a tank? You said was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard. People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously. I don't know how to say it. Obviously. But yeah, if he don't got no chin down, so Rolly be getting caught, but Rolly can hit, bro. Like, he can hit. He's the only person I felt like when he swung, It felt like bricks were going good.
Noticing the difficult task Rolly Romero faced in beating Ryan Garcia, Showbiz the Adult had pointed out that Garcia had the size advantage over him throughout their sparring sessions and during the face-off leading up to the fight. Given this, Showbiz noted that Romero would struggle to secure a victory.
You think Rolly can beat Ryan? Can? Yeah, of course. Everybody got a puncher's chance. I just think that Ryan Garcia right now seems to be focused and solid. Who's the puncher in that fight? Ryan, believe it or not. And I saw both of them in the same room, staring each other down. Ryan is so much bigger than Rolly. Let me give you some insight. When Rolly left, Ryan was still there. And I heard him say to his father, I think, he said, he's not big anymore, right? Like, I'm bigger than him. And they said, yeah, you are. It was obvious Ryan was bigger. But he looked and was like, because it's almost like he hasn't sized himself up against him since they were kids sparring, where Rolly was bigger than him then. So when they stood up against each other, Ryan was like, wait, he doesn't seem that big. And they were like, no, you're bigger than him. Ryan was obviously bigger.
Sharing his thoughts, Sergio Mora also pointed out that Ryan Garcia had become a people's champion, widely popular among boxing fans. He noted that coming off a controversial last fight, Garcia would need to prove his dominance, and he was facing a tough opponent in the form of Rolly Romero.
Well, listen, man, Ryan Garcia is always exciting. You know, he's always going to be popular. All eyes on him. He's coming off a controversial fight with Haney, so he has a lot to prove and rectify with his not only his style but his image. You know, he has to come back and prove that he can do everything without the issues that he had, the PEDs thing, whether it was true or not. So not only does he have to clean his image, he has to kind of convince people that he's still a power punching, fast, popular fighter that can do it on the big stage, and he's in there against a fighter that's going to give him all the opportunities.
Sergio noted that Ryan Garcia was known for knocking out opponents and possessed a powerful punching style. Expressing excitement for the fight, he had also highlighted the skills Garcia would bring to the ring, emphasizing that his talent would be something to reckon with during the matchup.
And Rolly Romero comes to knock people out. You know, he has some holes in his defense. I think it's going to be a short, explosive fight where either of them could get hurt, because Garcia's vulnerable defensively as well.
Sergio then went on to assert that the fight would be brief, noting that both Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia had noticeable flaws in their defenses. In his view, the bout wouldn't last more than 5 to 6 rounds, and he anticipated it would never make it into the second half.
Ryan says 4 rounds, and he's out.
There you go, see? I was going to say 5, but yeah, man.
I've been hearing 4 and 5 from a lot of fans, either way, whether it's Rolly or
that fight
Ryan.
doesn't go into the second half. Too much firepower, you know, too much defensive flaws as well from both these guys. So yeah, man, I think it ends under 5 or 6 rounds easily, but it's gonna be exciting.
Moving on, Ade Oladipo also discussed the potential outcome of the fight with Ariel Helwani prior to the bout, asserting that Ryan Garcia always carried a wild, unpredictable energy in the ring. He had highlighted Garcia's last performance as a fantastic display and predicted that in this fight, the world would once again witness that same wild Ryan, this time with full control over Rolly Romero.
I need a bit of the wild side of Ryan.
I like this.
I really do.
I like this because he's the man.
And by the way, look at the performance.
Yeah.
As much as we say he was wild and crazy and, you know, out of shape and whatever last time, look at the performance he put on last time. It was fantastic. So I don't know. I feel like I need a bit of that. I need a bit of spite. I don't want him to drink beer and do all the other stuff he was doing, but I feel like I need a bit of wild Ryan. I think wild Ryan's the best Ryan if he can control it.
I guess we'll find out.
Again,
Being on the same page as Ade, Ariel Helwani noted that he had observed continuous growth in Ryan Garcia and believed he would approach the fight against Rolly Romero with a new mindset. He anticipated that Garcia would be comfortable securing a victory over Romero.
I feel like he's mature. I feel like he's grown up. I feel like he's comfortable. Like sometimes in the early days, I don't know if he was 100% comfortable doing media, comfortable in the limelight. Obviously, he's been open about his mental health issues in the past. Like, to me, that's a grown man, and he understands that he's a superstar. You can make the case that when all is said and done, he'll be one of the, the faces of boxing. I don't know if he's there just yet, but he's well on his way. He's well on his way. He's one of the biggest stars in boxing. Everyone knows who he is if you're somewhat interested in sports.
Reflecting on his thoughts, Andrew Tate also pointed out that Ryan Garcia's fighting abilities were impressive. He praised Garcia's sharp hand speed and punching precision, noting that Ryan would definitely capitalize on those strengths during the fight.
I hope everybody gets in there, has a great time, leaves happy, healthy, a little bit richer. But Ryan's quick, man. I'll just tell you something. Like, I remember from my fight days, I'm a bit
old now, but I'm scared of the guy whose hands you can't see. Those are the ones to be afraid of.
Because they're all good fighters, but Ryan's clearly your favorite.
They're all fantastic fighters. Ryan and I are good friends,
Right.
so we have a personal relationship there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to wish disrespect on anybody.
Right.
Or I don't want to jinx anybody. I just hope everybody has a great time. But I think when you can't see it coming, that's when it hurts.
You're going to be at the fight, Mason?
Reacting to the fight, Jeff Mayweather described it as an exciting matchup. He compared Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero's fighting styles, noting that both brought a unique set of skills to the ring. Just like most of his fellow pundits, Mayweather had anticipated the bout would be a close and competitive one.
They're both friends, and they used to spar with one another in the gym quite often. But unfortunately, I wasn't there to see it. But still, I think that it's going to be a great fight. I think Rolly has more of a puncher's chance than I think Ryan is the more complete fighter with skills. But Rolly definitely has a puncher's chance. I mean, he's a very big puncher, and Ryan's a big puncher as well. So. It's another one of those fights that is close to.
Predicting a win for Rolly Romero, Mayweather stated that he had seen firsthand how powerful a puncher Rolly could be, which led him to lean toward picking Romero as the winner this time around.
To pick who's gonna win, I'm going with Rolly because I know him and he's a friend of mine. So.
In addition, Jeff acknowledged Ryan Garcia's exceptional hand speed and his dangerous left hook, which he believed could play a critical role in the fight. He noted that if Rolly Romero had a solid plan to defend against it, he might have a chance to win, but without it, Jeff believed Rolly could be in serious trouble.
I think Ryan has extremely fast hands, and he has a tremendous left hook. And that's his bread and butter. So. Gotta look. If Rolly doesn't have a plan to get out of the way or block that hook,
he's in trouble.
He's in.
At the same time, Robert Garcia observed that in a fight like this, anything could happen, meaning Rolly Romero still had a chance to win. While he acknowledged that a Ryan Garcia victory seemed more likely, he cautioned against underestimating Rolly Romero as a worthy opponent.
Look, anything could happen in the sport. Rolly hits hard too, and he's got heart. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. I do see Ryan pulling up the win and the knockout. But I wouldn't be surprised also if Ryan has trouble early in the fight and then gets frustrated and Rolly takes over after that. So I wouldn't be surprised because it's an interesting fight.
Mikey Garcia also pointed out that throughout the fight, Rolly Romero would likely come out aggressively and try to give Ryan Garcia a tough challenge. However, he ultimately picked Ryan as the winner, stating that Garcia consistently had the greater edge over Rolly.
Romero's going to be headlining in New York in Times Square. You hyped for that fight or?
I mean, we're excited because it's a exciting matchup.
You're going to be there, obviously.
Yeah, we'll be there. And I know Rolly's going to come to fight because he always does. I still think Ryan is going to win.
Meanwhile, Gabe Rosado also leaned toward Ryan Garcia, noting that Garcia had clear advantages over Rolly Romero. He pointed out that Ryan's larger size, combined with his power and deadly hand speed, would be key factors in securing the victory.
This is a crazy fight, man. I think Ryan has a big advantage on
Yo, he looks big, dude. I saw him training. I'm like, yo, this
Ryan
can crack.
Yeah, and he's a big dude. He's tall. He got size on him. So, I think he just has the advantage just being the bigger man. And not just being a bigger man, but just having the quicker hands. Just that speed. That speed is deadly. Speed and power.
Teofimo Lopez, who was another prominent name on the Fatal Fury card, was also seen favoring Ryan Garcia, noting that coming off a long period of inactivity would likely play a role in the fight. He expressed hope that Ryan's training would make a difference, but also warned that Rolly Romero, being a hard puncher, could land a shot that might pose a threat to Garcia.
I got Ryan. I got Ryan Garcia.
Why?
Yeah, I just think that from that fight and since then, he hasn't been fighting for that long of a period. and then being stopped the way he was. I think he might be changing trainers, or he might still be with Salas. But even then, but I think it's gonna be a great matchup. I think Ryan needs to be careful with Rolly's punching power, because Rolly still got power, man, and definitely could do something to Ryan with those shots.
And that's a wrap on the Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero fight. The boxing world has been buzzing ever since, with reactions flooding in from all corners. Whether you agree with the verdict or not, one thing's for sure, this fight definitely lived up to the hype. What do you think about the outcome? Was it the right decision? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates on your favorite fighters. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.